This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stockbox interview.
Joining us today is the CEO of Kanabo Group PLC, Avahu Tamir, and Atul Devani, CEO of the GP service. Kanabo are listed on the LSE with the ticker KNB and acquired the GP service in February. Welcome, Avahu and Atul. Please, could you start off by giving us a high-level overview of the company?
Yeah, of course, Stuart. Happy to be here. So Kanabo started as a research and development company under the vision to really bring cannabis to the accessible to millions of patients around the world. And the number one challenge today in this industry is the delivery method. Not many people know, but even medical cannabis today across most of the countries is being delivered via flowers. So the patients are buying flowers and majority of them just smoking it. And it's obviously not ideal. It's extremely hard to convince the medical establishment and physicians that this is a legitimate route of administration. So that was really the core of Kanabo. And how do we create new products that are medical products that providing a meter dose accurate solution and give comfort both for patient and physician. So the flagship product of Kanabo is a meter dose cannabis extract medical device that is now being prescribed in the UK. And on top of it, the company has a pipeline of other products that we medicalize and bring to the European markets. And that's the big focus of the company. In addition, in the last year, we're focusing more and more on the last mile. We understand that value is in relationship with the patients, his relationship of giving patients services that they can't get in other places. And that's really the value that we see across the board, really shift of value and margins as well from the cultivators and producers to the ones that holding the brand, holding the distribution and the innovation.
Excellent. How has the medical cannabis market grown over the last few years, and what do you see the continued growth looking like?
So we see that in North America, the market is over the tipping point now. And it's just a matter of time until not only medical cannabis, but adult use cannabis will be fully legal across the United States. Canada, it's already, and more countries in Central America as well. So in that market, it's already a massive market. The US alone next year will hit $20 billion size market. So that's massive. And Europe, Israel, Australia, they are in the second batch, I would say, where medical cannabis is growing only in the last 2 years. So some of the countries like Australia and Germany is already significant. And in Germany, for example, a 300 million euro size market as of today. And we see that Israel is now becoming a significant market, although a smaller population generating something like 70% of the German market size. So really growing quickly. And we are betting that the UK is a sleeping giant, and we're going to see a massive growth in the next 2 years in medical prescriptions in the UK market.
Yeah, there seems to be some hurdles to get these products to market. Using the UK as an example, what problems do you face here?
Yeah, I'm very fascinated on the UK medical market. I'm going to present a bit the hurdles that we have found, and I will let Atul present the GP and the solutions that this combination and merger between Kanabo and the GP service will bring. So that if we're looking at the challenges, I want to actually start with something positive to say about the medical establishment or the regulators in the UK. As of today in the UK, medical cannabis is permitted to be prescribed. The regulator in the UK did not try to invent the wheel again. It just used medical cannabis as one of the categories that are already existing. And it's falling under category of controlled substance, unlicensed medicine. So that means that you don't need to wait for regulation to be set in place like many other places, territories, and countries. As of today, a specialist can prescribe medicinal cannabis. So the challenge is not really a limitation of regulation, but rather I would call it bureaucracy. So the first challenge, NHS prescription are not really happening. 99% of all prescriptions are private physicians. So that's one piece of this puzzle. If someone wants to get a medical cannabis prescription, they need to find a specialist that is a private physician. The second hurdle is really a bureaucratic hurdle. If a patient want to see this specialist, a private physician, to get medical cannabis prescribed, he needs to somehow get his NHS records, the patient's NHS records, to his specialist, to this private physician from his GP surgery. And that's just really a bureaucratic hurdle that can take weeks, sometimes months, and try to coordinate between these different bodies. So that's the second pain. And the last one, I think it's still most physicians in the UK are not prescribing cannabis, don't feel comfortable to prescribe cannabis. It's coming from 2 points, I would say. One, the lack of support of the NHS makes some physicians feel uncomfortable to be exposed. The second is the hassle for them to prescribe a private prescriptions, to try and send it to a pharmacy without knowing if the product itself is actually available in that pharmacy, is causing them too much of a fuss than really worth for them as an income. And so that's really the big hurdles. At the same time, the UK market for medical cannabis is doing quite well. The market grew last year 300%, expected to grow double this year. The average patient is investing in his medical cannabis prescriptions in average £200 a month. And although the UK patient is paying more than any other patient in Europe, there's over 80% retention month by month. That means that these patients are coming back every month to get their medicine, although it's uncomfortable and extremely expensive. So that's how helpful this medicine is for these patients today.
Okay, well, how do you think you can overcome these issues then with the acquisition of the GP service?
Yes, sure. Stuart, if I could start off, and I'm Atul Devani, I'm the CEO of the GP service. We really have come from a background of providing, primary care services using telemedicine technology. So we started our business back in 2016. We were one of the first early stage providers to offer telemedicine services into the UK. And our service has grown quite considerably over that time. We've kind of made sure that we've stayed ahead of the game from a technology perspective. And I'll talk a little bit about some of the issues that we can help to resolve with regards to prescribing. So we have built a platform that not only provides primary care services to patients that can just come up onto the website or onto an app and see a GP within 10, 15 minutes of coming onto the site. But also, we've taken the whole journey end to end. We've not just said, you can have a consultation with a GP, and then you're left to deal with any issues after that with regards to getting prescriptions dispensed, etc. What we wanted to do was to take the whole patient journey and own it end to end. So our technology effectively connects the whole patient journey together. So from the time somebody goes in to see a GP, they have a consultation, they may be given a prescription, and we then take care of ensuring that that prescription arrives electronically into the pharmacy. So we have direct connections to over 4,000 pharmacies in the UK, including big high street names as well as independent pharmacies. So what we've done is kind of made that patient journey very, very friendly in the whole process. When we look at positive outcomes for patients, one of the things that we needed to do was to see why, you may go and see your GP, and GPs would probably be able to deal on a telemedicine basis with 65% of common conditions. What we've done is effectively created a scenario whereby we can get more positive outcomes because we've got access to the patient's record. So we integrated early on with the NHS. We were one of the first providers to do that. And because our GPs can see the patient record, they're able to be more confident in prescribing. They're able to see any conditions that the patient has. They'll be able to see any medications that the patient's been taking, if the patient's got any allergies, all of that is shown on the record. So they're much more able to deal with those outcomes. And as a result, we've gone from 60 to 65% of common conditions to 80 to 85% of common conditions being dealt with. What we're now doing is saying, okay, we've got this technology platform. We also white label this technology platform providers, because not only have we done it from the perspective of the GP service, but we've made it available to other providers that effectively want to use a fully approved CQC regulated platform with doctors or without doctors as a service of their own. And in return, we've also managed to get onto the NHS approved framework for video and online consultation technology. So this is very unique technology. It's probably state of the art, I would say, in regards to what we've done with it. So the acquisition really works well with Kanabo, because by combining, their experience of, almost putting patient first in terms of their journey, together with our technology, really just improves and cuts down the time involved in order for patients to get medications that they're looking for.
Superb. Well, finally, having just raised an additional £2.25 million in February, what are Kanabo's priorities for development of the business?
Yeah, so if we're looking at the use of proceeds, we're looking on three verticals. The first one is growing the medicinal cannabis business in Europe. That's UK, Germany, as the first two countries. So that's marketing and additional product development. The company has today product in the market for pain management, chronic pain, and we're looking to launch the additional formulation by the middle of the year for anxiety and PTSD, more of the indication for psychiatric indications. It's a very big market, and we're excited and really pushing forward on getting the product out there. I would say that the second challenge we see is building the GP capabilities, both cannabis and beyond cannabis, with unique offerings that Atul will talk about in a few minutes, but really approaching corporate businesses and leveraging the technology to become and enable in the future as a vision every GP in the UK to be able to prescribe private prescriptions. And obviously, as a technology platform, it's fairly easy or easier to enter new markets and really launch the platform in other exciting territories. The last bit of, I would say, the use of proceeds is to grow our last mile approach beyond just prescriptions, consulting, and product development, but to have the capability to dispense as well. So as a vision, being able to provide the product and prescribe the product and produce the product, all is one seamless process. Atul, maybe you want to add just a growth plan with the GP.
So just kind of following on from Avu, we're looking at trying to expand this not only from a service perspective and a service offering perspective to be able to cover more medications. We're also looking to grow it from a territorial perspective, because we have already built effectively a fully white labeled version of the software. We're able to deploy that in other territories and countries. So, our flexibility to be able to just use that technology and provide it into environments where perhaps telemedicine isn't as far-reaching as perhaps governments would like or organizations would like, we're able to almost kind of give them that head start in technology to be able to offer these type of services. If we look specifically at the UK market, there is a number of areas in which we want to grow. And as Avi mentioned, today it's not simple to send a private prescription to a pharmacy. The law says you have to phone the pharmacy, ask them if they'll accept it. You then fax a copy across to the pharmacy, and then you have to put the original in the post within 72 hours. So it's really archaic in the way in which private prescriptions are dealt with. What we're doing is deploying software that allows private prescriptions to be sent electronically. So today, in the NHS, if doctors were to prescribe on an NHS prescription basis, it arrives electronically in the pharmacy of the patient's choice. But if you want to do a private prescription, there's this manual process involved that I described. So our technology allows that to happen quickly and efficiently, and we are now looking at producing this and making this available right across the UK. So any GP can effectively issue a private prescription, and it will arrive into the pharmacy of the patient's choice. So there are a number of areas, I guess, where we're just looking at technology rollout. We've already kind of done a lot of the hard work. We've built this technology over 5 years. It's already had over £5 million worth of investment. And what we're now trying to do is to make sure we grow that with the support of Kanabo into other areas.
Excellent. Well, it's been very interesting to hear about this market, something I didn't know much about. So thanks for your time today, Avahu and Atul, and hope to speak to you again sometime. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to this Stockbox interview. For more information, interviews and videos, visit our website at stockboxmedia.com or give us a follow on Twitter by searching at stockboxmedia. If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.